Welcome to this SAP NetWeaver Gateway tutorial, showing you the Service Builder. In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to create a data model by importing a BOR or Business Object Repository interface in a few simple steps. In this scenario, we're going to choose the Business Object Repository interface from which we're going to create our data model. First I need to create a project, and I call it BOR import. I enter a generation strategy, and I create it as a local object. I go to the data model folder, I right click, and from the context menu I choose import RFC BOR interface. As the entity name, I type in sales order, and then I choose local as the total target system. As the data source type, I choose Business Object Repository from the drop-down list. I type in EPM, and then I use the help to find out the exact methods. I expand EPM sales order, and I select Get List, and I press Next. In the following wizard, I now need to select SO item data, and I select the following fields: ID, product ID, and note, and then I choose Next. Here, I need to select the Is Key checkbox, which you can see on the right. I do this for SO ID, and then I choose Finish. A success message is displayed. According to OData, we now have to create a corresponding entity set so that we can consume the entity type at runtime. To do this, I open the Entity Set Mass Maintenance view by double-clicking on the Entity Sets folder. Here, I choose Append Row, and a new line is added to the table. I enter Sales Order as the name. I use the F4 value help, and I select Sales Order. I'm now going to select all the properties the checkbox is here, and to do this I choose the Invert function. This selects all fields that were previously deselected. I save these entries. In the next step, I'm going to show you how to do the service implementation. Basically, we're going to implement the Get Entity Set query operation for the sales order, and we're going to do this via RFC mapping. I go to the Service Implementation folder, I right-click and choose Synchronize Entity Sets from the context menu. I expand the newly created folder for sales orders, and I go down to Get Entity Set Query. This is the operation we need, and from the context menu I choose Map to Data Source. In the pop-up that then is displayed, I choose Local as our target system, and as the type, I select Business Object Repository from the drop-down list. I enter asterisk EPM asterisk, and then I can call up the methods. Here, I choose Get List, and I press Continue. This displays the mapping for the operation grid, and it's pre-filled with information that's provided in the Business Object Repository import step. These values look fine, so I save the data. Now that we've implemented the service, we now need to generate the runtime artifacts. To do this, I choose the Generate Runtime button. All these pre-filled values are OK, so I simply press Continue. I select Local Object and receive a confirmation message that the runtime objects have been generated. You can see these again in the Mass Maintenance view. Now that we've generated our runtime artifacts, the next step is service maintenance. I double-click on the Service Maintenance folder, and a list of possible SAP NetWeaver Gateway Hub systems are displayed. I choose the relevant system, and then I select Register Service. I choose the relevant system alias, in this case local, and then I choose continue. Here everything looks okay. As the package I enter $TMP and then I press continue. You can now see that the service has been registered in the selected system. You see this under registration status. Now I choose maintain. Here in the Activate and Maintain Services transaction, I choose Explore Service. Here I choose Execute, and you can see the metadata displayed as the HTTP response. This time under Scenario, I choose Get Entity Set, and I choose Execute. I select the sales order, and again Execute. The parameters are correct, so I press Continue. Here you can see a long list of sales orders that the service has retrieved. This marks the end of our tutorial. I've shown you how to import a BOR interface to create a data model and how to implement, generate and maintain your service. This enables you to extract the sales orders you need. I hope you've enjoyed watching.